Hello Wastrels, it's me, Caedo, with a special Caedo's Countdowns. I'm sure some of you have been enjoying the Fallout show, and I myself have as well. But a show with props so faithful to the games ensures plenty of Easter eggs to be found. And since one of the things I'm known for is creating guides for unique weapons and gear, I thought it would be fun to point out 10 different weapons in Fallout Season 2 and their unique counterparts that you can find in the games. Spoilers ahead, of course, for Fallout Season 2. Here are 10 hellaciously hidden objects of obliteration in the Fallout show Season 2. We'll start with a faithful melee companion that shows up early in Season 2, Episode 1, The Innovator. After our suave, mustached genius provokes the construction workers while their jobs are under threat through Robco products, they take him outside, punch him in the mouth, and he responds by chipping the big one with his black box tech. At which point, he hands him a baseball bat, or a swata as they're known in the Boston Commonwealth. Now I realize this is not hellaciously hidden, as my intro suggested, but some of the baseball bats in the games, particularly the unique ones, are. And the idea of using a pre-war relic that was used to represent a great American pastime now being relegated to bashing in Wastelander skulls is a bit on the nose as metaphors go, but it is still pretty great. As one would expect, the majority of the Fallout games have some level of baseball bats present. There are two unique baseball bats I want to draw your attention to though. First of these is the Louisville Slugger that can be found in Fallout 2. If you decide to help out Family Wright in New Reno, discover their trade is in alcohol, you can then take this information to Ethel Wright, the wife of Boss Wright and the matron of the Wright family. After you've discovered the alcohol stills under the train station and revealed that to her, she will want you to bust them up. Do this for her and meet her at Father Tully's on the west side of town, and she will reward you with the only baseball bat in Fallout 2, the Louisville Slugger. This can perform a standard swing at a cost of 3 AP, and has a damage of 12 to 30, making it the second most powerful melee weapon in the whole game. If you don't feel like booting up Fallout 2, there is a unique baseball bat I want to point you to in Fallout 4 as well, and that would be the 2076 World Series baseball bat. This one is located in Jamaica Plain, a town overrun by ghouls between University Point and West Roxbury. If you find yourself here via the miscellaneous quests connected to this place or just wander right in, the trap-laden basement of the town hall is where you'll want to go. The final room will act like a small museum containing many unique pre-war items, including the 2076 World Series baseball bat. The effect on this baseball bat is what makes it truly unique, unlike the other baseball bats that are named that you can find in Fallout 4. The 2076 World Series baseball bat has a small chance to send targets flying, and fandom is saying it's a 6% chance. To make this bat more absurd, if you have a version of Fallout 4 that has Nuka World as well, you can add shocking puncturing rockets to it too, and give it a weighted painted body to give it even more damage. Next up is a rifle variant shown in Season 1, making its return in Season 2 and wielded by yet another protagonist of the show, and that is the Mare's Leg rifle. This is reportedly a cut-down Winchester Model 1892 that not only makes for easy storage, but also, if the character is strong enough, can be fired with one hand. The Ghoul's custom rifle that we do see in Season 1 is modeled after the Mare's Leg. But then, later in Season 2, we also see Lucy pick up an actual Mare's Leg from an NCR weapons cache that they just let her sift through. The prominence of this weapon type is relatively new, and I think it perfectly fits the Ghoul's aesthetic anyway. But there are already a couple of variants of this gun in the games themselves too. In Fallout New Vegas, if you find yourself a cowboy repeater or the unique version called Longue Carabine, these are modeled after Winchester rifles, but of course aren't sawed off like the ones that are shown in the show. Since these are the closest option in Fallout New Vegas, especially if you've taken the cowboy perk, I would like to show you where Longue Carabine is. Outside of New Vegas, to the south, is a place called Camp McCarran. This is the NCR's main base of operations right next to the Strip. This rifle is wielded by Corporal Sterling, who is often lingering around the tent with the other 1st Recon members because he is a part of 1st Recon. If you take on the 3-card bounty quest by Major Daughtry, you can enlist the help of First Recon, which Corporal Sterling will join in as well, and if he suffers an accident while you are traveling to or from that location, you can then retrieve his rifle that way. But of course, once the main fiend threat is eliminated, they will also transfer to Camp Forlorn Hope, where you'll have another chance at the rifle, maybe pickpocketing it from him or something of that nature. Compared to the Cowboy Repeater, which has a base damage of 32, the Longue Carabine does 35 and comes with a long-range scope. So you can treat this as a better Cowboy Repeater across the board. And again, the closest thing you'll probably get to a Mare's Leg in Fallout New Vegas. Now, if you're looking for an actual Mare's Leg, just directly from the show, the place to get that would be Fallout Shelter. Either through the Season 1 quests, if they're available on regular vaults. If the ghoul joins as a vault dweller, he might have the Mare's Leg equipped. You can also acquire it through lunchboxes or getting the blueprint and creating it in a weapon workshop. And this can be all acquired for free. It just takes more time. This is a free-to-play game, and it comes with all that booster bull crap that I'm not a fan of myself. But before I said it, I wanted to confirm that you too can get the Mare's Leg without spending a dime. I did also want to add that I found a neat little bit of trivia when it came to the Mare's Leg, because it's been present in a lot of different pop culture areas. But I wasn't aware that Final Fantasy VII was included in those, and I am a Final Fantasy VII fan, so I wanted to quickly mention that too. Vincent Valentine, the gunslinger character of Final Fantasy VII, also has a Mare's Leg weapon, and in the English version of the game, it's just called the short barrel. Getting an excuse to talk about two of my favorite franchises in one video? So nice. Fallout has never been a stranger to the more wacky side of sci-fi, and the presence of extraterrestrials has been presented in one way or another in just about all of the games. I don't think Fallout Brotherhood of Steel did, but we can ignore that one anyway, it doesn't matter. So why am I talking about aliens? Well, a piece of recurring alien technology is the Alien Blaster. And in Season 2, Episode 2, The Golden Rule, we see the Brotherhood of Steel uncover Area 51 during the scene where Maximus is wandering through the hangar, advising the researchers just about every scene has something you can point out from the series that can be found somewhere in the games. Right before Maximus approaches someone who's holding a cryolator, there is a researcher in the background looking at an alien blaster. The alien blaster itself being a unique or having unique variants depending on the game. So there's two I'd like to mention. The first one being obviously where this model is from, and that would be Fallout 3, more specifically the unique version, the Firelance. A weapon that is so rare, you may not even have the chance to see it in a playthrough, because it falls from the sky in a random encounter. And there's a lot of locations where this random encounter can happen. The earliest being Super Duper Mart, where you were sent from Moira Brown to scavenge up some food. I want to mention this specifically because my last Fallout 3 playthrough, that exact thing happened. So here's what to look and listen for if you want to get a Firelance. Person, like a normal human. Definitely not a synth. Even though that becomes a thing in Fallout. You can also save just outside of a location where you know it can fall, and then just kind of save scum until you get it to drop. When it does drop, keep in mind that the ammunition is also finite in Fallout 3, because it uses alien power cells that are only found in so many places in the game. But there is a reason for that. It is extremely powerful, along with its alien blaster counterpart. Its base damage is 80, its crit chance is automatically 100%, and it does 2 fire damage per second for 5 seconds, hence the name Firelance. A great weapon to bust out when you're dealing with the more spongy enemies of Fallout 3. There's one more variant of the Alien Blaster I want to mention, and that is the one found in Fallout New Vegas. Sticking to where the show takes place, of course. In order to get the Alien Blaster in Fallout New Vegas, your character needs to have the Wild Wasteland trait, which gives you some of the more wacky encounters that we've come to expect in a Fallout game. So if you have the Wild Wasteland trait and make it to the outskirts of New Vegas, if you go northwest of Freeside, along the mountains here, you may see a little campsite, and with the Wild Wasteland trait, see a alien ship kind of hovering above the hills, with an alien captain and crew around that campsite. The alien captain is carrying the alien blaster, and killing him will, of course, result in you getting the alien blaster. This is worth mentioning too, if you don't have Wild Wasteland, mercenaries will be at this camp and instead have a unique Gauss rifle, which is also extremely powerful. So what I'm saying is you get some incredibly powerful things regardless of taking the trait. But we're here for the alien blasters, so I'm going to go over that. This version of the alien blaster has a base damage of 75 and a guaranteed crit chance, which adds another 50 damage on top of that. And of course also has the finite amount of ammo, but the captain should drop a lot of it. So again, just like Fallout 3, this would be a good weapon to use if you're in a pinch, or for Lonesome Road or the endgame. And both of these, as expected, tend to turn your foes into blue glowing piles of ash when they are killed with it. So plenty of spectacle and stopping power in these little ray guns. There is an absolute mess of weapons on display when we get to Season 2, Episode 3, The Profligate, when Lucy gets captured and is getting walked through the Legion camp. In between the escaped woman being dealt with and meeting with Caesar himself, eyes keener than mine will have spotted a pistol tucked into the Legion Centurion's belt, reflecting light for but a moment. I will not take credit for seeing this, thank you IMFDB editors. This handgun was recognized as a Colt M1911A1, with a black finish by the looks of it because it's so freaking hard to see. 2 of the Fallout games do also include a weapon of this type. Fallout Tactics has Colt M1911A1s that you can equip your squad with, as does Fallout New Vegas under the name 45 Auto Pistol. I'm going to bring us full circle here because those are the signature weapons of Joshua Graham. If you play Fallout New Vegas and take part in the expansion known as Honest Hearts, you will get to meet this former member of the Legion trying to change his stripes. Choose to meet him at the Dead Horses camp and you will see him loading a pile of 45 auto pistols. If you decide to fight him and take his life, you'll be able to loot the Light Shining in Darkness, the unique variant, from him. But if you also take part in the whole story of Zion Canyon, at the end, a Light Shining in Darkness will be in the end footlocker that sits in front of the cave leading out of the zone. A Light Shining in Darkness is a huge upgrade from the 45 auto pistol, from 29 base damage to 33, but the power comes from its damage per second, which is roughly double of the base variant, thanks to the fire rate of the unique version. So honestly, I would just save all the ammo for that. It also has a double crit multiplier, and its AP cost is 15, which is extremely low. If you spend the time to get this handgun anyway, Joshua Graham's outfit will complement it pretty well too. We're sticking around the Legion camp a little bit longer because also in Season 2, Episode 3, The Profligate, we get to see the reason why there are 2 Caesars in this camp. And it's because the original Caesar, which is smack dab in the middle, is dead and his body is being fought over. These skeletal remains are also wearing the original Legion leader's armor, crown, and weapon. The gauntlet on the right hand is known as a Displacer glove, which is, of course, a weapon in the unarmed category in Fallout New Vegas. When you finally meet up with Caesar in Fallout New Vegas, this is his weapon of choice if you decide to cross him. Non-medically, of course. I love including something like this because not only does New Vegas have so many gauntlet-based weapons for unarmed builds specifically, which is still one of my favorite builds to play, but there's pretty much a unique variant for each of the unarmed style weapons, including the Displacer glove, which is known as Pushy. Now, Pushy is found in the Ruby Hill Mine, which is northwest of New Vegas along the mountain trail to Jacobstown. This mine has been long abandoned, and the ones who have taken up residence are lake lurks. Find the main watery chamber in here, and Pushy is found on the dead Jackal gang member in here. And if your character is exceptionally skilled at punching, Pushy can take you through the whole game pretty easily, with a complimentary explosive here and there, because it has a base damage of 60 and a DPS of 88, putting it just above that of the Ballistic Fist. I really should do one of those playthroughs again, huh? Before we move on from Season 2, Episode 3, The Profligate, several more video gamey things happen in this episode, and more video gamey weapons are present too. Back with the Brotherhood at Area 51, Xander Harkness convinces Maximus to go for a little ride in the Vertibird. Besides the MacGuffin discussion, they find some signals that need to be taken care of in the Brotherhood way. One of these signals is malfunctioning Securitrons, and while Maximus goes in with the Fallout 4 styled assault rifle, Xander chooses to get up close and personal with the rocket-powered Super Sledge. There are several versions of this weapon throughout the games, and the Super Sledge serves as linear progression from the Sledgehammer, usually having pneumatic or rocket assistance to dramatically increase the impact. Yes, of course there are unique variants, so I picked two. Firstly, the unique Super Sledge in Fallout New Vegas is known as Oh Baby, and is found in Charleston Cave, not far from where we found Pushy, and this cave is in the mountains just north of Jacobstown. The Oh Baby is found next to some dead bighorners in this cave crawling with cloaked Night Stalkers. A challenge to be sure, but you know the reward's gonna be good. Compared to the standard Super Sledge in Fallout New Vegas, the Oh Baby does 10 more damage, so 70 to 80, and the rest of its stats kind of follow suit except for the AP cost, which has gone down from 38 to 35. This is ultimately a great Super Sledge for Super Slam, until we go to Fallout 4, which is where the other Super Sledge that is unique that I want to point out. And it's a unique Super Sledge you can gain from the Children of Adam in the Far Harbor expansion. Behold, Adam's Judgement. Once you have arrived in Far Harbor and gotten a little ways inland, the Nucleus is a location where you can meet up with the zealots of the island who follow Adam. Joining them, speaking to Tectus, their leader, and then going back to Richter will start you on the quest, The Heretic. And no matter what option you choose during this quest, you will be rewarded with Adam's Judgement at the end. Extremely true to the Children of Adam's whole vibe, Adam's Judgement is fitted with 4 leaky fusion cores on the front of it. So while its base damage is the same as a standard Super Sledge, it has a bonus 100 radiation damage on top of it. And if you're capable, it can also be upgraded at the workbench to using a heating coil or stun pack. I will say, even though a lot of enemies are resistant or immune to radiation in Fallout 4, just about all the humans, except for Children of Adam, are still affected by radiation just like you. So if you're looking for use cases, there you go. I did also notice that Nuclear Physicist, the perk pretty far down the intelligence tree, also affects the radiation output of this weapon, which can be doubled to 200. So there's even more extreme radiation if that's the direction you want to go with it. In Season 2, Episode 4, The Demon in the Snow, Lucy is seen recovering at the NCR Ranger camp with a little chemical assistance. After coming to and both sides discussing their next plans going forward, Lucy is allowed to rummage through Chekhov's crate of guns and walks away with quite a few of them. And once the ghoul and Lucy make it to Freeside, Lucy tests these guns out on some unfortunately feral kings who haven't quite forgotten their moves yet. Alongside the Mare's leg, which was mentioned earlier, this is the time we see Lucy using it. We also see her bust out a Radium rifle for the final moments of this fight. The Radium rifle is based off of a World War II era rifle. Its functionality and appearance kind of make it its own thing in Fallout's case, because this is another radiation-based weapon that can be found in Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. Just like with Adam's Judgement, the unique version of the Radium rifle in Fallout 4, known as the Kiloton Radium rifle, can simply be gained with bottle caps. After you've gotten inside the nucleus by doing the Children of Adam's first quest, of course. After you're inside, you just need to find Brother Kane, who's towards the back of the nucleus, who sells weapons and armor. And just to repeat something I mentioned in the Fallout 4 Rifles Countdown, this is a great upgrade from the Spray and Pray because it has a base damage of 27, has the explosive legendary effect, and does the Radium Rifle's extra 50 radiation damage on top of that. Even though this is one of Fallout 4's imitations of a unique weapon, it's still quite powerful. And yet another great prop that was shown in the show. In episode 5 of season 2, Lucy receives a side quest from the ghoul to get rid of the buff-out addiction she is still suffering from. This takes her to the general store known as Sunny's. Due to the insane price markups, Lucy opts to sneak into the back and steal the Addictol. But before leaving, she also notices a Power Fist in the window and takes that too. Why wouldn't she? This is the ultimate in punching improvement and has a presence in every single game. The variant that we see here was introduced in Fallout 4 that looks like more of a construction tool now used to hemorrhage all of the internals at once. Even though Fallout 4 introduced the design, it fell short when it came to an actual unique and didn't even bother naming the Furious Power Fist you get from Swan. And I'm still salty about it. Fortunately, some of the other games like Fallout 3 can pick up the slack. So we'll first talk about Fisto. No, not that one, but one of the 2 unique power fists in Fallout 3, and it is found at the MDPL-13 power station. This power station is northeast of Minefield, and has a few ferals inside to take care of, and the Fisto is located on a desk upstairs in the office. While the standard power fist in Fallout 3 has a base damage of 20, Fisto has a base damage of 25. It also improves your critical chance by 1.5 times, and it has a bit lower of an AP cost. Something I gravitate towards in most playthroughs because it's simply easy to acquire and doesn't need to be supplied with bullets, just repaired every once in a while. Since we were just staring at Fallout 4's design in the show though, and I am a stubborn man, I am instead going to point out Fallout 76's Facebreaker Power Fist, which is a quest reward from the Brotherhood-based Steel Rain quest called A Knight's Penance. So basically, if you work with the Brotherhood at Fort Atlas, you will eventually get the Facebreaker for yourself, and the ability to craft it afterwards too, in case you lose, break down, or sell the one you have. The Facebreaker not only has its own unique paint job, having a shiny metallic yellow with a painted skull and stripes, but also 3 built-in legendary effects. The first one being the Furious effect, which increases its damage each time you hit the same target. The secondary being Heavy Hitters, which increases power attack damage by 40%. And the third just boosting strength. If you haven't already, it is a great time to try out Power Fist builds, and I'm hoping that the scene with Lucy actually using it incentivizes it a little bit more. I didn't want to get to the end before mentioning some kind of explosive launcher, and there are a few shown, but one underused in my opinion. In episode 7 of Fallout Season 2, The Handoff, when the ghoul Maximus and Thaddeus enter this old NCR armory to gear up for the upcoming fight, Maximus picks up and inspects a M79 grenade launcher. But because he gets quite the upgrade right after that, he doesn't need it. Now, the most we see of any grenade launcher being used in Fallout Season 2 is way back at the beginning when the ghoul is soloing all the great cons. But there's nothing really close to that one in the games because it is a jury-rigged grenade rifle. However, there are several M79 variants in Fallout. More specifically, several unique ones in Fallout New Vegas. And the one I would like to lead you to is called Thump-Thump. Far to the northeast of Freeside and into Nellis Air Force Base, you can meet up with the Boomers, who introduce themselves with artillery fire at you. But if you make it through their gauntlet and speak to their leader, Mother Pearl will ask you to help them out. Raquel's quest, called Ant Misbehavin', takes you to the Nellis Array to take care of some mutated ants that might be on a strict diet of gunpowder. Once you make it into the array and get to the lower floor, if you head towards the broken generators on the southeast side, there will be the remains of a skeleton, or I guess remains of remains, next to the grenade rifle known as Thump-Thump, which even has its own little mascot on the stock. This unique version of the grenade rifle comes automatically with the long barrel modification, increasing its effective range, but also apparently its projectile velocity is increased as well. So these 40mm rounds travel faster and further. The great part about a weapon like this is there's not much expertise required, just point and shoot. And this one's even safer because it can fire further away from you. And if you have Ultimate Edition or just Gunrunner's Arsenal, you'll have 4 ammo type options too, from standard to incendiary, as well as pulse and plasma. In a hostile desert like the Mojave, I think it's pretty great having a versatile grenade launcher such as this one. When you pose the question, how do you stop a Deathclaw? The Fallout series now has so many answers to that. The show and the games. But one weapon that saw a good amount of action is the Gauss rifle that we see the ghoul pick up in the NCR armory and bring as his weapon of choice when they start taking back the strip in Season 2, Episode 7, The Handoff. This fight does a pretty good job at showing the destructive power of the Gauss rifle, but also the unstoppable nature of these juiced up FEV monstrosities. Generally, when a Gauss rifle is used against anything smaller than a Deathclaw, it tends to leave a basketball-sized hole, or indistinct meat chunks. So in honor of this kinetic powerhouse, I've picked out 2 uniques. First being the YCS-186 of New Vegas. When I mentioned the alien encounter that requires the Wild Wasteland trait, I did also mention that not having that trait results in mercenaries showing up here instead, one of which is wielding the YCS-186. This is not an easy fight, but if you do manage to take out this mercenary leader, you will be able to loot the YCS 186, which, unlike the standard variant, happens to use 4 microfusion cells a shot instead of 5. And as expected in a unique, the damage is also increased, base damage being 140 instead of 120, and the DPS being 420. Blaze it. If you don't have Wild Wasteland and manage to get your hands on the YCS, it does easily outperform the anti-material rifle. Not to mention the ammo itself just being easier to find and cheaper. So if you're going Deathclaw hunting, the YCS 186 is a great bet. The Gauss rifle depicted in this show, however, does use the Fallout 4 design over the coil-heavy design of the previous games. And there is a Gauss rifle in Fallout 4 called the Last Minute, which is a suitable Deathclaw Slayer as well. It just costs quite a bit of caps, and helping out the Minutemen more than a little bit. So in Fallout 4, once you have gotten established in Sanctuary and Preston sends you on so many missions, you then get the option to retake the castle in Taking Independence. Do that, and after a couple in-game days, a seasoned Minuteman by the name of Ronnie Shaw will show up and ask for your help in retaking the armory to grant you the schematics for artillery and access to her vendor inventory during merchant hours, after which she will be able to sell you the Last Minute. This is another one of Fallout 4's approximations of a unique, but the results are hard to argue with. And this Gauss rifle has the stopping power necessary to take targets out at long range, and effectively slow down the big ones, because it comes with the crippling legendary effect, increasing its damage to limbs by 50%, inside or outside of VATS. So now I'd like to hear from you. What weapons in the Fallout show Season 2 did you recognize? And if you've played around with the unique variant, feel free to share that in the comments as well. If showing off some of the unarmed weapons interested you, I did do a playthrough of Fallout 1 and 2 that included punching just about everything in the groin at least once, that you can find linked at the end card and down below. And you know I've got you covered when it comes to uniques and guides for collectibles and stuff like that in Fallout as well. So those will be linked too. If you found this countdown helpful, entertaining, or both, please do whatever you see fit to show that. And among the ways you can is by supporting on Patreon for as little as $1, like these outstanding supporters on screen now, including our Wasteland legend, Sven. Thanks so very much for watching. I'm Caedo, and may you wander the Wasteland with purpose.